I like to travel, and that's why we try to take a family vacation at least about once a year. And despite all the headaches associated with going through customs and airport security and packing and all the rest of it, I'm a firm believer that travel, particularly international travel, is still one of the best ways for you to spend your money. My friend Clay in a recent video asked, what is the first thing that you check when you get to your hotel room? An overwhelming number of his friends said that they check the bathroom. They make sure that the toilet flushes, there's good water pressure in the shower, there's good toiletries, there's enough towels for the whole family. And while these are all important things to consider, it got me thinking, what's the most important factor when deciding on a hotel at all? Well, in this week's vlog, I'm going to list the 5 big things that I look for in a hotel room. So by far the most important, number one thing that I look for when shopping for a hotel is its location. I want to be reasonably conveniently close to the main attractions I want to see, and barring that, I want to have good access to the subway or metro system so I can get around town very easily. I don't typically rent a car when I'm traveling because I don't want to deal with the extra hassle of that. So a good example of this was when we were in Montreal recently, and we stayed at the Westin, which is right in between Old Montreal and downtown Montreal, and it was only a block away from the metro system, so it was really easy getting around town. It was the same thing when we were in Honolulu the year before. We were maybe like 3 or 4 blocks away from the beach, and we were surrounded by lots of great food and shopping, and there was a shuttle service that took us to the main mall as well. In Las Vegas, I always try to stay within the main stretch of hotels. I've never stayed further north than about the Treasure Island or the Wynn, and I've never stayed further south than the MGM Grand because I didn't want to deal with having to drive long distances to be able to get to where I needed to go. So the number 2 thing that I look for is the rate, the price. This is obviously going to be a big determining factor unless you have lots of extra money to spend. For me, it's not really so much about saving as much money as possible and looking for the cheapest place to stay, as much as it is staying within my relative comfort zone and making sure I get the value that I want to get out of the place. I'm not the kind of person that wants to spend a lot of extra money on a hotel room, mostly because I don't plan on spending that much time there anyway. It's just a place for me to drop off my bags and sleep for the night, maybe get in a little bit of work, but I don't plan on spending that much time there, and having all those extra amenities that you would be paying for don't really give that much more value to me. The number 3 thing that I look for is parking. If I do plan on renting a car or I do plan on having a vehicle, I want to make sure that there is complimentary or reasonably priced overnight in and out privilege kind of parking at the hotel. This becomes a really big challenge if you're staying in big cities, major metropolitan areas, where it's not out of the ordinary for them to charge you $30, $40 a night to be able to park your car. When shopping around for those rates, you might think that you found a great deal on a hotel, only to find that you have to pay $40 for parking, and they might not even have regular in and out privileges. So that is something that's really important to look for if you plan on renting a car. So the number 4 thing that I look for in a hotel, and some of you might be surprised that it wasn't the number 1 thing, is Wi-Fi. Ideally, it is included in the room rate, but I know that, in Las Vegas, for example, pretty much everybody charges a resort fee where you get the free Wi-Fi. So as long as there is Wi-Fi and it's reasonably priced, or I factor in the cost of it into how much the hotel room is costing me in the first place, that's very important to me. Everywhere I travel, I tend to have a data plan on my cell phone or tablet or what have you, but I want to have that safe and reliable connection when I get back to the hotel to work on my laptop, connect my various devices to make sure I have that strong internet connection. Actually, one of the first things that I do when I get into the hotel room is I run a speed test, usually on my phone because it's the most convenient. I'm not terribly concerned about ping. I don't plan on doing any online gaming while I'm traveling, but I am concerned about the download and upload speeds to make sure it's within reason. This is especially important when I'm traveling for work, when I'm going to conferences and trade shows and such, especially if I plan on uploading videos to YouTube. But even when I'm traveling personally, I want to make sure that the internet connection is reasonably robust so I can watch YouTube videos and look up restaurant reviews, look up Google Maps and all that sort of stuff, so that I am still reasonably connected to the world when I am traveling. My friend Clay asked if there is anything that I would do if I ran the speed test and I found that it wasn't that great. Would I ask for another room? Maybe, maybe not. If I've read online that Some areas of the hotel have a stronger internet connection than others. That's something that I might put in as a request as part of my reservation, and something I'd ask again when I get to front desk. But assuming that the internet connection is going to be reasonably consistent through the whole property, it doesn't make that much of a difference to me, as long as it's reasonably reliable. And finally, the number 5 thing, which really should be the number 1 thing, is cleanliness. I want to make sure that when I'm reading reviews for the property, there haven't been a lot of reports of bed bugs or mysterious stains on things. I don't need a place to be particularly luxurious, but I want everything to be reasonably clean and well maintained. I understand that can be a bit of a challenge for some older properties, but as long as everything is reasonably clean, that's okay with me. Different people prioritize different things when they're traveling and shopping for hotels. For my part, I don't really care too much about reward programs. I'm not especially loyal to any one hotel chain over another. I shop each time that I go to a different destination to find what I think is going to provide me with the best experience and the best value. So the loyalty points aren't as important to me because I'm not really a member of any particular chain at this point. I probably should be. Some people place a great value on the bathroom. They want to make sure that the showers are extra nice and they want that spa style experience. They really look into the toiletries that are provided, and does it come with extra comfy robes and towels and all that sort of stuff. To me, again, it's not that big of a deal as long as it is reasonably clean and well maintained and I have all the basic facilities that I need. And speaking of facilities, some people really want to have a world-class gym and they want to have a spa and a hair salon and all that stuff. For me, for the most part when I'm traveling, I don't make use of any of those anyway. I don't go to the gym at the hotel. I don't typically care if there is a hot tub or a pool. These are important to some people, not really to me. And some people choose hotels based on their character or their history, or they look for the one that's the newest or the most modern. Again, these are all kind of nice things to look for when I'm looking for a hotel, but they are nowhere near the deciding factors. Similarly, it's a nice bonus if I see that my stay includes a free continental breakfast each morning, or there's a free newspaper, or the hotel is located in such a way that my room can have a great view of the city. These are all, again, nice things to have, but they're not going to be the make it or break it factors for me when deciding a hotel above and beyond those 5 main things I listed at the top. So what about you? What are the key determining factors for you when choosing which hotel to stay at? Are you looking for a world-class customer experience with getting pampered at the spa? Or is it about having the fastest internet connection and free parking? I'd really like to hear. So leave a comment below with what you look for in a hotel, as well as any travel tips that you might have for shopping for that place to stay. I'll leave a link up to my hotel room playlist up here. I have traveled to quite a few different places in the world, and I try to do my best to post a tour of the different places that I have been staying, so make sure you check that out. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I do put up a new video every Monday. Hit those like buttons if you really like what you're seeing here, and hit the like button even if you don't, and I will see you all next week.
Became a fiend. Now I'm off in a new galaxy, and I got big plans and I got big dreams. Get up in my spaceship and I'll show you what I mean. And I stop big scams and I still get cream. Mr. Apocalypse, I got a female team, and my girls are tough and they're never mean. Uniting everybody is my turbo's dreams. Something that they got is talking to you.